with that 40 minutes and what they showed and who they were throughout that game, and going into the locker room with not a ton of complaints, and a game that we feel like honestly we put ourselves in a position to win fairly late into it. So just proud of our group. Would be really, really easy for them to be quitting in games and stop playing as hard as they are. I mean, this group battles, they fight, they play their butts off, and I'm proud of them as their head coach.
Your first quarter, seemed like you sped out there a little bit. What was your plan going against Baylor for that first quarter? How happy were you in that first quarter?
The plan was to come out and act like we had nothing to lose and be ourselves defensively. I mean, we're a really good defensive team. Like, we're a really, really good defensive team. We sit down, we guard, we're scrappy. We've gotten in foul trouble at times that's bit us in the butt, but we came out and we defended the way that we wanted to set the tone defensively in this game. We've rebounded, and when we do that, generally our offense flows from there. So we're not usually a 22-point per quarter type team, but we'll take that lead and hopefully sustains us all the way through. But we generally have a quarter that we struggle like we did in the second quarter. But our team's got to learn to figure out what got you success and continue to do more of that consistently throughout the game. So.
And then we talk a lot about the parity in this league.
Yeah.
And this being your first season coaching in this league, and what can you say about the difficulty top to bottom of all the teams in this conference?
Yeah, I mean, I say this with all due respect to everybody. Like, the amount of games that we're in, position to win, and being highly, highly, highly competitive in with what we have, makes me so excited for the future. Makes me proud of this group, but makes me really, really excited for Arizona women's basketball's future in this league. Baylor's a really, really good team, and I don't think a lot of people thought we had any business being in the ball game today, and we were with maybe a little less talent, less length, less athleticism. So the future's bright. We're excited, but again, take nothing away from this group. It's a group that's battled. We battled at TCU. We battled here. We've battled everybody that we've played and been in positions, late in games to win. So I couldn't be more proud. But this league is incredible. So well coached, such good players. But I think players get excited about coming in to play in the Big 12 because, it's anybody's season any given year. So it's an exciting league to be a part of, knowing that every single night is such a big battle.
Coach, coming in off the halftime, how were you planning on answering Baylor's momentum coming in out of the half, and how would you evaluate that now?
Yeah, I mean, we gave up a 3 to end the half, got ourselves in foul trouble to end the second quarter, which, is just something that's like, it's just been plaguing us all season. We try to play so hard. It is just so hard to find that balance of being so undersized and just still trying to make things happen. And unfortunately, we get penalized a lot for that, and that's on us. We got to fix that. And some games we do, and the games that we don't, generally we're putting teams in the bonus really, really early. So just coming out of halftime saying, okay, we're only down 8. We're not in the position that we want to be in. We'd prefer to be up, but ultimately this is still something that we can do if we put together 20 minutes of good basketball. And they believe that, and I think they came out and, got to like 15 at one point, and they could have shut it down. Then we got it back down to 9. So I'm just proud of our group's resilience and ability to just never quit.
We can take about 3 questions from local media.
I wanted to ask you about Molly, that she's had these opportunities to start now, play a lot more minutes, and she seems confidence seems to be growing. What do you see in her defensively, offensively?
Molly is the epitome of what we are going to be about at Arizona in our women's basketball program. She is mature. She is an elite teammate. She is extremely coachable. She does everything you ask her to do the way that you ask her to do it with no questions asked. She takes care of business on and off the court. She's somebody that, I'm going to play her the rest of the way out because that's somebody I'm going to build around. I couldn't be more excited for her. And, that's somebody that my stamp of approval is definitely on. And she's a freshman. She's got to get quicker. She's got to get more explosive. She's got to work on her shot. She's got to do all those things. But when you talk about a culture and what we're building here, Molly's going to be in the center of that.
Coach, did you feel like you just had to take Lonnie out after the technical to sort of send a message?
Yeah, I'm done with the immaturity It's not just Lonnie. There's a couple people on our team that have done that multiple times this year. Like, you made a shot, so what? You know what I mean? Like, it's so immature. It's so selfish, in my opinion. This is nothing against Lonnie. It's like doing that and that act in a 9-point game with 4.5 minutes left at Baylor is immaturity, selfishness, and I'm just not gonna tolerate it from this point forward. So it wouldn't have mattered who it was. It's not just Lonnie, but that's a very me type of gesture after you make a shot and your team's down, and that's not how I roll.
Would you say that behavior like that is part of the reason that you want to send a message by benching her for the last 3 games, or?
Oh no, we won't be benching her for the next 3 games, but she's already not starting right now for us. She's got some work to do from a maturity standpoint, obviously, right now. So, but she's a huge part of what we do, and we need her. And so this is, again, we're coaching 18 to 22-year-old young women and doing the best I can to just teach lessons through the game of basketball. But we're not going to be a team that's getting technical fouls when we make shots, especially when we're not backing it up too well and we're down. So that's not a look that we want to be perceived with.
Becky, you've had really hard-fought games, really close outcomes the last 3. How do you think, or what do you think you and the team can do over the next couple of days here to sort of break through, especially ahead of senior day on Tuesday against Houston?
Not go back to practice these next 2 days and think that we accomplished anything by playing Baylor close. We have to come to practice tomorrow with a sense of urgency to beat a Big 12 team, regardless what their record is. I mean, we're not good enough to sleep on anybody. We're not good enough to overlook anybody. We have an opportunity, I feel like a good opportunity to win our last home game at McHale. And if we don't come to practice the next 2 days with the right mindset to do so, then again, Houston's capable of beating us on any given night. So we got to be mature about the positives that we take from this game into the next 2 days of practice. But I think we're squeezing every ounce of juice out of this group right now, and I'm really proud of them.
Thank you.
Baylor had their senior night tonight, but some of those players have spent their entire careers with Baylor. When you kind of look at that and maybe think about what the next 2, 3, 4 years might be like for you, is that something you can kind of dream on?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see a group graduate and walk across the stage and have some 3 or 4 year players here at Arizona. That's obviously the goal, and the goal is also winning games. So the people that, we need here and we want here are going to stick around and be here, and we're going to build. And then, in year 1, there's always some transition. There's always some that weren't happy with their playing time or are homesick or whatever the case may be. And we do expect a little bit of change. But like I said, those Mollies and the Samaya, like we would love to just continue rolling with a good chunk of this group if we possibly can. But I think in today's day and age, are you going to have, I don't know how many they had, 6 or 7, that's pretty impressive. So I don't know if you're going to have 6 or 7 or 8 walk across that stage on senior night that have been here the whole time very often anymore. So I think it speaks volumes if they had that tonight. That's says a lot about their program.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Very surreal. It's kind of crazy that it's like senior day because I'm obviously used to being underclassmen and celebrating other seniors, but it's just been a really special day. And I think just seeing my teammates from freshman year to now, and even Jana, she got another year. It's just been super special, and I think we're just cherishing the moments. Like we don't have a lot of them together, but we're just cherishing them, and it's been very emotional day. I didn't cry, but they did, but I've been very sad because just thinking about it and just counting down, and I think a little bit of maybe went over to the game, but I think we kind of just locked in and just finished it out.
For yourself and I guess Bella as well, how frustrating is it to when you pick up a couple early fouls, kind of are forced to the bench? How much does that throw you kind of out of your game plan?
Especially for me today. I got 130 seconds into the game. But it's hard because, you want to get into a momentum, a rhythm. But when you have to sit down for a majority of the game, it's really hard. But I think we did a good job of staying positive, especially on the bench. And we cheered each other on still. And they just gave us an extra boost when we went in because we knew we were going to be fresh. So we already knew we had to come with it. But I think just our bench did a really good job of uplifting us today.
Markayla, coming in so early in the game, what's your mindset when you need to kind of pick up some slack when those two go out? What's your mindset coming into the game that early?
Just energy, just doing something that's missing, whatever it is, just trying to fill in that spot of what we need in that moment. Especially coming off the bench, some people view it as a kind of a bad thing, but for me, it's just I'm watching what others are doing, upperclassmen are doing, and be like, okay, I can pick up on that, I can do that. And yeah, for me, it's just energy, bringing energy to the team.
Bugs, what can you say about Markayla? She had a pretty good game today. And is this kind of a glimpse at, it's senior day, but, is this a glimpse at the future?
I love Markayla. I'll start by saying that she's a really hard worker, and she just wants to learn all the time, and I think she brings that onto the court. Like she said, if there's something little that she can do, she's going to go out there and do it, and she does bring us energy. Just her intensity on defense is just unmatched. Like when we put her in and she's going for defense, I know Markayla's going to go after it. So it's always good to have Moo on our side, and I tell this all the time. She's going to be so special. By senior year, I'm going to be calling her man, and just now, and maybe she doesn't see that, but I know we do. We were once freshmen. You know how the freshman year goes, but we always tell her, you're just making freshman mistakes, and she is. She's just making freshman mistakes, but she makes up for it because she's always giving effort. She wants to learn. Intensity's always there. She's asking those questions. She's ready to play. So Moo's really special for us, and I absolutely can't wait to see her in her years, and even, next. I can't wait to call you next year, and you're like, oh, Bugs, I was doing. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of ahas, so I'm ready for those calls. But she's just really special to us, and I'm so happy she's here.
I guess this would kind of be for both of you. You guys flipped the switch at halftime. What did Coach really say, and how did you see your teammates really just get more energy and go out there and win the game?
Honestly, I think it was mostly us. We have some defensive coverages that they told us about, but we always do plus minus in our locker room, just what we need to be better at and what we have done good. So I think it was kind of player-led in a sense. We know what we needed to do, and we kind of took ownership of that. And we just had to change momentum. We knew we had to get back on defense and get back to us. So that's just what we did, and we just had to lock in and win.
This is kind of off topic, Bugs, but what was it like to actually see yourself in a video game?
Oh, wow. I'm still amazed, I won't lie. It was so cool seeing just the people around me that I love play. They as soon as I posted a graphic of me, people were going home and getting on their game systems and tagging me and stuff, and it just was so wow, I'm in there, and not just a game, I'm in 2K. A lot of people play that. That's worldwide. So it's just really special to me, to see that, to be in 2K and just have people around me still uplift me through that, because that's huge. I don't really have words, but I'm actually still in awe. Even when I posted it, I'm calling everybody. My brother, he doesn't play 2K, but he's like, okay, wait, so how do I get it? I think he has a Switch, so he's gonna play it on his Switch. But we talk about it in the locker room. I just have to go get my PlayStation, but we already talking about hey, we're gonna go play games together. So pretty soon we'll have some games going. So. Sick.
Thank you.
And, Darian, when Bugs and Bella get foul trouble together, and how did that kind of shift your game plan early on?
Yeah, that's not very fun for me. I thought Ting did a good job coming in early. I thought she tried to be aggressive. I think she still needs to learn to take contact in the lane. But we had to roll. I mean, I let Bella play a little bit with 2 in the first half, and that's a scary thing because Bella doesn't know how to not take a charge or, be in rotation. So they had to play through a little bit of it, but it's not a very comforting feeling. I thought Markayla's energy was good coming off the bench, but it's the defense, it's the communication. When we go to our bench, we don't have the same understanding of game plan and what we're switching, and the communication just significantly drops. Our whole help. Bella's the best at getting in help side, and as we were hard hedging ball screens, we were late on some of our rotations, but I was just proud of them for finding a way. I thought that second quarter was as good an execution quarter as we've had. I love ball screens, but we didn't handle the traps very well, so we had to go to a lot of floppy and pin downs, and we just kind of went to actions that didn't include a ball screen, which I don't like. But I think we work on them enough because we have players really good in those situations. And so floppy was really good to us tonight.
You mentioned Markayla. Is that kind of maybe, I know it was senior day, is this a vision of the future? Is this what she can be? I know there were some times when you were kind of letting her hear it a little bit, but is that kind of what you hope to get from her?
That kid, the beauty of Markayla Johnson is she doesn't know what she doesn't know. And there's a fearlessness about the way she plays. But a lot of times she has no idea when game slippage is happening. If she's on the ball and she can just be aggressive and do her thing, she's great. But the minute she's off the ball and actions are happening and she's got to get through screens, or when am I in help side and when do I have to get through the screens? And then it's feel on offense. She's one of those players. She led the state of Oklahoma in scoring last year. The kid can score. But now there's length around her, and it's reads. I told her to attack the middle, and she attacked the middle and shot it with her right hand going left. And if she'd have just played to her little 2-foot jump stop, step through, or kick it to Jan in the corner, so it's things like that. All she heard was go middle, and she went middle, So it's a little bit of that. It's feel. And Bugs is right. Bugs sees so much of herself in the way Markayla competes and is fearless, but doesn't have a clue half the time what's going on, And I'll never forget in our tip-off preseason, event with our tip-off club, when they asked her a question and she said, when I got here, I didn't realize that everything I'd ever learned about basketball was wrong. And so, that's the thing. But I don't think there's any doubt that she has the ability to be an elite scorer. Just finding those spots. Her first 3 was terrible. It was they went under, I hesitate. Her second 3, baseline drive, baseline drift, rhythm, shot clock running down, beautiful. And it's understanding where she's at her best and how to, she believes she's gonna make everything she takes. So you don't want to steal the confidence, but you got to get her to see what they're giving her and they want her to take versus, because, she's never going to understand that why they're going under screens on her. So that's the beauty and the not so beautiful thing at times.
Coach, a pretty emotional senior night ceremony before the game. What does it mean to you as a coach for them to get the team to get the win, for those 4 players that you love so much?
First of all, senior days are the best and the worst. I lost on my senior day. I'll never forget it. Last year, we lost the conference championship on senior day. And I think it was a good decision to have it on a weekend so that their families could all be here. All 4 of those kids have totally different stories, but culturally, they're the backbone of our program. And, whether Bella can throw it in the ocean at times, I know she's going to rebound. I know she's going to be in help side. I know she's going to make plays. And there's just this massive amount of trust and both her and Bugs. And when Bugs isn't on the floor, the little things that don't happen, like I just don't think people see all the little things she does, even when she's not scoring. Just the poise. Like, we miss so many shots at the rim at times, but not Bugs. Bugs takes her time. She pump fakes. She scores against bigger people. She scores against stronger people. So she gives us that poise around the rim. And, I don't know if she's 150 pounds soaking wet, but she has good feel and good use of angles. And it's just a special group. And I think when you look at KJ, who played sparingly for 3 years at Oklahoma on a really good team, and getting to start and make such an impact for us, like whether she's double figures or double figure rebounds, she's helped us win. And that's what it's about, everyone wants the opportunity to be on the floor and help a team win.
Jana was plus 21 tonight, 8 assists. She hit a couple big threes there in the second half when you really needed them. How good was she tonight? And what's her ability to bounce back after maybe a not so good game?
Yeah, I thought early she did a good job of feeling the trap. Now, I kept her out of some traps, but she didn't turn it over early. So I thought she did a good job of kind of seeing what I was calling, making sure we were in it. We did some drills over the last 2 days I've never done as a head coach, but I think they helped in terms of communication and making sure we were all ready to run actions. And so maybe we didn't get as much in transition tonight, but I thought we had to take the right type of shots. And I thought she did a good job understanding what I wanted and running floppy and not, I thought she made one crazy pass there at the end, wanting something to be there. But otherwise, I thought, even her turnovers were pretty good, I thought she had one against the trap that she just slung it. But the pass to Markayla that she under or overthrew, I liked what she was looking for. And she'd made some really good post-entry passes to Bugs. So I knew what she was looking for, but if you got to throw it 700 miles an hour, probably shouldn't throw it.
Coach, could you talk a little bit about how these seniors have led this team towards a little bit of a slower start this game and even bouncing back off of a tougher loss earlier this week?
Oh, yeah, we've had a couple tough losses this week. I just think, and we start off for those seniors, and it's very hard to flip that switch quickly. I just think that even though you have 5 minutes to warm up and you run out of the tunnel and everything else feels the same, you just feel it a little deeper. And we fouled. We weren't, our defense wasn't that bad to start, but we were fouling, and maybe that was us being uber excited and, over aggressive and trying to make plays. But that was our biggest issue early, was fouling, and I thought, once we kind of settled in, and Bugs always has some mystery fouls. She probably picks up 2 fouls a game that when you watch them on film, I don't know, there's no fouls. It's making a hustle play and someone pulling her down, or, I can't even justify some of the ones I've seen on her. But, I think they know how to win. I think they've been in a lot of these games, and even when they're not making shots, I think I saw Bugs pulling them together at multiple times, just, to kind of get their energy up. And I thought Talia had a slow start too, and I think a lot of it was the traps and the fear of the traps. And then, we're throwing it to our fives and asking our fives to be playmakers, and that's not who we are. And I thought they did a decent job, but we got to make sure that, we're putting our players in the best position to be successful. And, they weren't trapping off our fours, they were only trapping with our fives. And so, I had to adjust, and I told them I was going to adjust. I said, I'm not going to be stubborn if we struggle against the traps. We're going to go to floppy, and we're going to go to different actions that get us in screens and don't require us. And then we need to pitch more, and we need to, So I thought they did a good job of adapting, and I thought the second quarter was was the change. Like, I just thought the second quarter we got stops and then we started scoring pretty easily. Thank you.